It's finally here. The first undisputed heavyweight champion of the world since the great Lennox Lewis will be crowned over in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia this Saturday night. In a fight, many people really do have on a knife edge, heading into this one, a true 50-50 contest, pretty much in every sense of the word. And books can't seem to separate these two fighters either. Fury going off at around the minus 120 mark, ahead of this one at most books, and Usyk coming back at anywhere between a minus 105 to a plus 120 at most of the major US books as well. So it really does set up a fascinating contest this weekend over in the desert. The question, ahead of this one really boils down to just how good is Tyson Fury right now? We know all about Usyk, obviously, undisputed at cruiserweight. He's been almost pitch perfect at heavyweight over the last few years as well, fighting at an elite level. But, there are question marks over Tyson Fury. When we go back, well over a decade ago now, that first win against Derek Chisora, who was, pretty dangerous back then, undefeated at the time they fought. He gave Vitaly Klitschko a hell of a fight over in Germany as well. Fury was, fighting the likes of Martin Rogan, Kevin Johnson. He had those cancellation fights against David Haye around that time as well. And that Tyson Fury was elite. Probably the most money I've ever made personally in a single bet in boxing was absolutely unloading on the plus 450 on offer when Fury fought Vladimir Klitschko that first time around. And I was ready to do so again in the rematch. I came out at even money, I believe, the lines for that one, just before it got cancelled. And again, crazy price, even with the adjustment there, because Vladimir Klitschko, even on his best day wearing sunshine trainers, was never going to beat that version of Tyson Fury in a million years. But, that's almost 9 years ago at this point. And this is a sport, of what have you done for me lately? Sefer Seferi, Francesco Pianetta, Deontay Wilder, Tom Schwartz, Derek Chisora again. I mean, you just get the feeling that Tyson Fury was so far ahead of the competition for most of the last decade, for years, that we've kind of settled into a bit of a pattern regarding Fury where, his prior reputation is almost worth more than the current version that's going to step through the ropes on Saturday night. Oleksandr Usyk will be the first fighter that Fury has faced, with the entire package. Faster feet than him, faster hands than him, better coordination. And that's unheard of across Fury's career so far. Those are areas where Fury has traditionally feasted against the big, oversized, stiff heavyweights of this current era. But that's definitely not going to be Oleksandr Usyk on Saturday night. Before I get into a best bet, I just want to quickly mention WagerTalk 7 days of MLB for only $7 special, which is going on right now over on site. Pick up a 7-day MLB All Access Pass from the handicapper of your choice for only $49. Get $30 off regular pricing. Great deal, so make sure and lock that in before it expires on Sunday with the MLB season heating up. But return to the best bet for this one. I've kind of hinted at already, obviously, but I like Oleksandr Usyk in this one. I get the size advantage. I get the fact that Fury will be able to potentially lean on Usyk here, tie him up on the inside, make it a somewhat ugly fight. So a lot of the result here may potentially hinge on what the referee does. We get a kind of refereeing decisions like we did in that Vladimir Klitschko Alexander Povetkin fight all those years ago, with Klitschko being able to headlock and almost lie on the smaller man's back at times. That could be a problem. But we know the referee for this one is going to be Mark Nelson. Mark Nelson famously refereeing that Manny Pacquiao Jeff Horn fight from a few years ago. That raised a lot of question marks. Many people felt Jeff Horn was overly rough in that one. So, some people have hinted that could potentially favor Tyson Fury ahead of this one. But I personally don't see much issue with the choice of Nelson in the center of this one. He's a vastly experienced referee. He's done well over 100 world title fights under his belt. And perhaps controversially, I think the whole outburst of that Pacquiao Horn fight was kind of overblown, in my opinion. I'm probably going to get hung in the comments section for this, but I really had no issue with the officiating or the decision in that fight. So, Mark Nelson coming in here as ref on Saturday doesn't really affect my liking of Usyk in this one to win. The other reason I believe the potential wrestling concerns for Fury won't be a major factor in this one is, Fury's trimmed down physique. He looks in tremendous shape ahead of this one. And the fact that Usyk has been very vocal in the lead up to this fight as well. He's already calling out that the seams on the ring canvas aren't right. He wants an official investigation conducted before the ring walk and so on. And that's a play straight out of Tyson Fury's playbook, in all honesty. You know, that's exactly what Fury did, calling out the soft canvas in Germany prior to the Klitschko fight all those years, get it into the heads of the officials that everything needs to be on point. So I don't see the referee being a concern in this one. The other factor people have also stated in support of Fury here on Saturday is that Usyk may possibly be vulnerable to the body, pretty much from what we saw in the Daniel Dubois fight. But again, good luck finding the body, because Usyk is a top 6 fighter in boxing and opponent connect percentage. He sits right behind his countryman Vasily Lomachenko in that regard, which, really goes to highlight just how difficult he is to land clean on, especially for a big man. In fact, only one other fighter, Dmitry Bivol, is even above middleweight on that list. So he's in solid company there. And basically, if the referee is on point here and a boxing match breaks out, which I'm expecting, it really is advantage Usyk in my mind. As I said, it'll be the first time ever the Fury's been in there with a superior boxer than him. And I'm also interested to see just how that affects his mindset as well. Do we see a meltdown midway? Do we see a Lomachenko-style nomas? A potential Rigondeaux type phantom injury where he pulls out. Stranger things have definitely happened. Tyson Fury has a massive ego, as we all know. So simple play for me. Oleksandr Usyk to win outright at +120 on Saturday against Tyson Fury for the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship of the world. Best bet. I'll have a full fight card pack up at WagerTalk for clients, breaking down the entire undercard and main event. So if you're interested in that, make sure and pick up a 1-day or 3-day all access pass over at my page, Kevin Dolan, to gain access to that. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below as well. Is Fury's size too much, or can Usyk add another undisputed weight class to his already pretty incredible resume? I'm excited to read those thoughts below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so as well. And as always, until next time, Slán Abhaile, and best of luck on all your bets.